recording. Here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the end of year webinar. Everything we've learned, some things we probably already knew, but I'm going to share it with you. And we are going to talk about the Home Care Leads Beta Program. Super good news to share, but we're going to keep that for the end. I want y'all to hang in there and stay with me. If you chat with me now, I cannot answer you, but if you have a question and you want that answered throughout or at the end of the webinar, there's a little QA section in there. If you see Q&A, you can put any questions you want in there as we go. It'll be first come, first serve, and if you wait till the end, everybody will be typing at the same time. So get your question in early, and at the end, I'll just go in order of the questions. Alrighty, so I have my recording, and so, yes, we're recording, which means there will be a replay. All right, so here we go. We're going to talk about two things. I kept this agenda and this webinar super simple. Digital marketing strategies that don't work, and there are many, and digital marketing strategies that do work. I feel like home care agencies marketing online is sort of like going to the gym. You get really excited about it and you sign up and you're, woo, I'm going to do this. And then 2 months later, you're like, what? I'm doing what? And you can't do that. You have to keep it up. So we're going to first talk about digital marketing strategies that don't work. And trust me when I say it has been 11 years, so there is nothing I haven't seen out there. And I'll tell you that stuff doesn't work. Then we're going to talk about stuff that does work. And then we're going to talk about Home Care Leads Beta. Woo! All right, stuff that does not work. Sadness. One account. All right. Having one account of any kind, for instance, here's what I mean. You have just a Facebook business page and a Facebook personal account, and that's it. And that's the only place you ever market. Beep. Does not work. You have to spread the news all over the internet, and having one account and not doing anything anywhere else doesn't really help. Now, do I think you're going to get a client from Twitter? No, you will never get a client from Twitter. But to have backlinks and to have visibility and to have branding out there, great idea. Great idea to be in as many places in an automated fashion as you possibly can. So having one account and only using that one account, doesn't work. Having multiple accounts with no regular content. We see this a lot. So somebody went in and set up Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. They set up a Pinterest business account, Instagram business account. They set up, let me name, Stumble Upon, Reddit, you can rattle it off, and then no one ever touches any of it. Having a bunch of accounts that you never touch, that you never take care of, is not going to help you. It will not help you. You have to be accountable for the content and you have to put it out there. The way we do it is in an automated fashion, so we're not having to touch all of those accounts by logging in every single time. We just one and done. And that's the way it should be. That way you don't have so much to worry about. So having multiple accounts but no regular content will do nothing for you. So if somebody says to me, Facebook doesn't work for me, I'm going to say, stop. Tell me why Facebook doesn't work for you. What have you been doing for Facebook? Because Facebook will give back to you what you put into it. It works that way for all social media. So Facebook doesn't work for you because you don't work for Facebook. That's basically what it amounts to. All right, Google AdWords. I am going to maintain this until someone shows me with full transparency, a Google AdWords campaign that has actually benefited a client. Now, I know there are those of you out there who say that Google AdWords works for you. And if that's the case, amen, amen. But I would like to see the data before I ever change my mind, because we have fiddled with this and talked to experts and talked to home care agencies, and we have moved through many systems, including Reach Local, Yodel. I don't even know if they exist anymore. We have seen other experts do it. We've seen people who say they can do it themselves. You know, home care agency owners who are really good at it that say, I do it myself. It nets me this, this, and this. Possible, but I've never seen the proof. I've never seen the data. I think it's going to be a big waste of your money. So I'm just going to put it out there. I think Google AdWords for home care does not work. If you were a roofer, a lawyer, a plumber, or if you're talking to someone who manages Google AdWords campaigns and they say, oh, absolutely, it works for home care. We do it all the time. Okay, I want to talk to the owner who you say it works for, and I want to see the data because I want to know actually in real life how many leads are closing, how much they're spending, what their close rate is on the people they contact, how fast they're following up. I want to know all of that, and I guarantee you the answer is going to be beep. I got 52 phone calls last month from Google. Oh, well, 51 of them were employment calls. Doesn't work. Don't waste your money on Google AdWords. It's just my thing. My opinion. Okay. A static website. So what is a static website? A static website is a website that you flop up there or you have a professional flop up there for you, and it never changes. The pages never change. The words never change. The dates are outdated on it. You put it up in 2010 and you haven't made a change to it, or you put it up in 2015 and you haven't made a change to it. That is not going to work. That's what we call a static website. It's basically a brochure online. We have evolved so far from having brochures online. There is so much you can do with a website. There is so much you can do with social media. There is so much interactivity available to you to reach out to your community and say, we are here to help you. We are transparent. We are honest. We are trustworthy. And if you don't do that, your website isn't doing anything for you. You get from your website what you put into your website. So if you say online marketing doesn't work for me, I want to say, why does online marketing not work for you? What have you tried? What have you actually engaged with and tried and actually really made that commitment to, put content out there yourself? What have you done? If you have done everything that we've been teaching for years that you should be doing, then, and it doesn't work for you, okay, show me that data. But I can tell you that the clients who participate, who engage, who are on their website, or at least have us on their website, putting out company news and doing all the things they should do, and really making that website move and grow, this is a property. You own this asset, and to leave it sit there unattended and not cleaned up or not managed well is you're just throwing money out the window. So you absolutely need to take care of your website just like you would any other property that you own. It is an asset. And if you ask a mergers and acquisition person if a great web presence is helpful in the sale of your home care business, they will tell you, yes, it is. It's not going to make or break, $1 million difference, but it definitely is helpful if a buyer can see that you have a robust website, you have a great web presence, that you have excellent reviews, that you are putting content on it, that you're on the first page of Google. Those things really help. So you're really selling yourself short if you have done nothing with your website. And it's probably outdated if you haven't touched it. So it probably needs to be up to date. So static website does not work. No blog. This goes back to the static website. You should be able to. I don't care if you're a franchise owner. I don't care if you're an independent home care agency. If you do not have a blog on your website, meaning a place where you can add posts, like a journal, a web blog, a blog, if you cannot do that, then someone is not doing it right. It's a static website. It doesn't do anything for you. Some of our franchises do have their websites on lockdown and will not allow their home care agency owners to blog post on them. Fine, we can work around that. That's not a problem. But if you have the opportunity, and I know who does and who does not, if you have the opportunity to blog post on your own website for a local blog, absolutely you should be doing that. There are so many franchisors who allow that, who encourage it. They will set it up for you. You don't automatically maybe have a local blog on your website. You have the national one. But if you just ask, they will add your local blog. It's so easy. And we've worked with so many people who have done that. So you should have a blog. If you're an independent home care agency owner, there is no reason why you should ever build a website that doesn't have blogging capability. That's a big no, no, no. Because if you can't add new, fresh content to it, it's a static website. So you have to have a blog. The other thing that you have to have along with that blog is an RSS feed. So no RSS feed and no blog. What's an RSS feed? So when you put up a blog post, if you have a valid RSS feed, it means that the content that you're adding can be syndicated, meaning sent out in space to Facebook and to Pinterest and to Instagram and to all the places. It can show up in a newsletter. You need an RSS feed. I'll let you Google it. RSS stands for really simple syndication. And I still run into clients today that do not have an RSS feed. Oh yeah, I have a blog, but you have no way to get your content from one place to another? No. Okay, then what's the point? You have to use social media. You have to use an RSS feed to your advantage. You are killing yourself if you're trying to do all this manually. It needs to be an automated process. So it's already tough enough to have no RSS feed makes it 1,000% tougher. Have a website with an RSS feed. That is super important. If you don't have one or you don't have one that works, talk to your web developer. If you have a GoDaddy site that you put together by yourself, it will not have an RSS feed. Do not use GoDaddy. And if you did, because that's the affordable way, that's okay. We can work around that. But what I'm telling you is, don't start out that way if you want to accelerate that sharing of content. Don't use GoDaddy. I mean, I think Wix and Weebly might have RSS feed capability, but I just know there are certain ones that don't. Okay, no RSS feed, use WordPress. You will always have an RSS feed. Okay, other things that don't work. Wix, Weebly, Squarespace, and GoDaddy websites. So I get it. A lot of you are not in a place where you can afford to have a $1,000 website built, which is the bare minimum cost on a real website that's, done professionally and has a feed and a blog and all that. At least that's our cost. And I know that, GoDaddy charges $2,500 for a WordPress website, which we do, but those websites are like 20 plus pages for home care agencies that have been around for years and have lots and lots of content. So here's what I have to say about that. Again, I get it. If you don't have a budget and you're not sure what you're doing or you just don't know, I get it. People start out with Wix, Weebly, Squarespace. Just know this, it's never a good idea. If you have the funds to have a real website built by a professional website builder, and it doesn't have to be us, it could be anybody, WordPress, please, not Joomla, not anything else. This is 10 years of experience telling you this. I'm just telling you the way we look at it. Wix, Weebly, Squarespace, and GoDaddy have definite drawbacks. You could look at the fine print and see it all. We can't take the content and suck it out of your Wix website and magically import it into your new WordPress website. It has to be done page by page by page and copied and pasted, and it's hours of work. So please, please don't have if you're going to use one as a startup with just a couple of pages and a blog, that's fine. But just know that you're not going to be able to take that content easily with you. It's going to have to be a very manual, long process, okay? So, WordPress websites. All right, next, follow-up failure. Follow-up failure. Do you know what follow-up failure is? Okay, so follow-up failure is when you have people calling into the office or emailing or filling out a form, and someone follows up, or they call in and the receptionist or the person taking the calls gets their information, and somebody does talk to them on the phone maybe that day, and they're really not ready to pull the trigger, but nobody got their email address, and they might get one more follow-up phone call later from somebody in your organization. That is follow-up failure. So every time that phone rings, you should be getting an email address from that person along with their phone number and whatever else you want to get. You should also be asking them how they heard about you. So if you don't have a script by the phone for the person answering the phone, the welcome message, questions that you need to have answered before they're transferred on to the next person, all of that should be taken care of the minute the phone is answered. Email address, phone number, name, who are you calling about, how can we best serve you, whatever they're capable of doing before it's transferred to the person who's actually going to talk to them about services. So have a script by the phone. Have how you answer the phone with a pleasant and a happy and compassionate attitude and slow speaking, and have questions that they have to ask every time. There should be a clipboard with a little, form they fill out every time the phone rings. Collect their information and their data so that you can put them on your newsletter list, so you can put them in an email drip campaign, so you can have less follow-up failure. We have so many leads that call into the office, and a lot of home care agencies do, and they never close. Well, the reason they never close is because eventually they forgot that they even called you. They are so overwhelmed. If you don't follow up with them, chances are they're just going to go with whoever grabs them next and actually is better at follow-up than you are. That lead might close in 3 weeks. It might close in 1 week. It might close in 3 months. If you don't follow up, if you don't have a system in place that's automated and easy, they're going to fall through the cracks. No doubt about it. So follow-up failure is Okay. This is one of my really good ones that doesn't work. Lack of communication between offline marketing efforts and online marketing efforts. So we were all taught, and we are all taught, that in home care and in assisted living and in the senior care market, you need to go out and shake hands and look people in the eye and say, hi, my name is so-and-so, and with blah, 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 blah. Yes, absolutely. You need to be a great networker. There's no doubt about that. And you need to see referral sources all the time. Find reasons to go by. Pop in. I call them pop-in visits. Leave something cute behind, whatever. But yes, all of that, that's not going to go away. That is super important. But if you take, let's say you have a table at the blah, blah senior expo, and there are 500 people that show up for that expo. That's a pretty nice draw. But let's say you go there, you take a few pictures, you're saying hi to people, and you collect all your things at the end of the day, put them in the back of your car, and well, see you next year. That is a fail. So what should happen is you should go back to the office or your computer or your laptop or wherever you're going and write up a paragraph or 4 or 5 sentences about how much fun you had, how many people you met, include those pictures, and you should post it on your blog as a blog post. That's what we do for our clients. And then that should go out bing to Facebook and bing to Twitter and to over here to your e-newsletter next month when your newsletter goes out. So instead of just seeing those 500 people, there are probably between 50,000 and 500,000 other people who didn't go to that event. So you want to reach out to them too and say, if you could get, another 5,000 people to notice something that you did to help your community, you definitely want to share that information. And if you just post it to Facebook, remember what I said about having one account? That's not enough. You want to make sure you're posting to all of your accounts. You're posting on your blog. You're letting that go out to everything you have, so that people see you from all different sides of online marketing. They see your newsletter. They see everything. Without that, you're missing big pieces and chunks of your audience. So please, please, please don't just go to these events and then never say another word about them. Write 4 or 5 sentences. You don't have to be a prolific writer. You don't have to, do anything crazy. You don't have to spend hours writing an 1,100-word dissertation on a senior fair. No. Paragraph, few pictures that are cute, send it out to the universe. Marry it up. Marry up the online and the offline. Woo! You will get more referrals and more leads if you start doing that. Oh, yay! We've made it to the greatest part of this whole webinar. Actually, the leads part is the greatest. But this is a good part. So what does work for your home care marketing? So having a real marketing plan. Now, that sounds pretty simple, but so many of you don't. And really having a plan and knowing what the expectations are of each person on your team. So if you have one person out in the field, if it's you out in the field, hold yourself accountable and have a plan of what you're going to do about that senior fair. You're going to write it up and you're going to put it on your blog and you're going to post it to your social media. You have to have a plan in mind. You have to know what you're going to do. If you have a calendar full of events, figure out how you can leverage the PR from those events, even in some small way, by posting about them online. So have a marketing plan and hold yourself accountable. Holding yourself accountable works. If it's not you out in the field going to all these events and meeting all these people, hold your marketer accountable. They're accountable for turning into you not only how many referral sources they saw this week, but they are accountable for writing up every single event that they attend with a paragraph and some pictures and sending that to you. That is their job. That is what they need to do. If you don't hold anybody accountable for it, it will never happen. So think about the new marketing, the online part of your marketing, and who you're going to hold accountable for making sure that the offline meets the online marketing. Accountability works. Having an industry mentor and content to review and learn from. Okay, so there are lots of mentors out there. I am certainly not the only one. We are not the only ones, but we've been around a long time. So no matter who you choose to have as a mentor, there are so many. There's not as many online mentors as there are offline mentors. But whoever that person is, I highly recommend it. I wouldn't be where I am today without following certain people online and without doing what they actually said to do. And it started a long, long time ago, before internet marketing was a bigger thing. But I followed the advice of some really good marketers, and that's how I got here. And that's why this business has been successful for so many years. So follow the advice of your mentors. If you're in our mentoring program, there are so many videos that you can watch and take advantage of. And I always point out the best ones and the ones that I think right now you should really be paying attention to. If you pay attention and you watch a 5-minute video that a mentor has put together for you to illustrate how something works really well, you can benefit from that. It's all about accountability. It's all about, it's just like going to the gym. Gosh, I can't stand working out. Can you tell? I'm not a worker-outer. So if you make that promise to yourself, the only way you're going to see your body get better is to hold yourself accountable and to actually go to the gym. Okay, so marketing is the same way, especially online marketing. It's easy to forget. It's easy to not look at. It's easy to say, well, this isn't working. But if you hold yourself accountable and you show up, then it will start to work. It takes some time. This isn't overnight. So it used to be that it was overnight, but it is no longer that way. And you have a lot of competition. Every single one of you on this call has a ton of competition. So showing up online is one of the best things you can do. It's an asset and you should take advantage of it. Okay. Paying attention to an asset that is often overlooked. I already talked about this. Your website is an asset in your business. If it does nothing and you aren't tracking how many phone calls and how many leads or how many forms are filled out, if you don't know any of that data, of course you're going to say online marketing doesn't work for me. If you're not participating with it, of course you're going to say online marketing doesn't work for me because you've never really given it a good try. You have to be fully engaged for 6 months before you can honestly say online marketing doesn't work for me. You can set it up and then never touch it again. And that doesn't mean you participated for 6 months. That means you let someone else handle it for you for 6 months and you didn't participate. You have to get into it. And there are so many of our clients who do, who understand it, who get into it, who send us the information that we need, and they see more referrals and more leads from that than I can even begin to tell you. And it's kind of a gray area. Sometimes you're not sure, was that really a referral or was that really an online lead? You know what? At the end of the day, who cares? Is your revenue up? If you have more clients and you have more revenue at the end of this year, something worked well. And keep it up. Don't stop. You don't fix something that ain't broke. Just keep going. Keep going. It can't hurt. It's not going to hurt to have an amazing online presence. It can only help you. Don't overlook your website as an asset. And if it's a janky old website or it's on Wix or Weebly and you know you can afford to have it upgraded to something more professional, please do. I know the Wix commercials have like a hot supermodel talking about her new website. She doesn't need a website and she's a hot supermodel. And she did not touch that website and she did not build that website. It's all BS. Wix is horrible. Having an up-to-date website built in the last 2 years does work. So we see a lot of clients and even some of our own, we offer to rebuild websites. And of course, that's not free. But every couple of years, we recommend that you have your website updated. The look of it maybe, but more importantly, it's the internal workings of that website that get outdated so fast. If your website's not mobile responsive or you don't know what that means, find out. Google has put in tons of new penalties. So for instance, if the first one a long time ago was if your website is not mobile responsive, Google is mobile first. So if you do not have a mobile responsive website, they don't care where your website shows up. If you do not have an SSL certificate on your website, Google doesn't care about you. They want secured websites. If you don't know what SSL certificate means, look it up. We talked about this all year this year, and we still have folks out there who have not taken advantage of getting their SSL on their website. You need to do that. That's the difference between HTTP and HTTPS. If you don't get that S on the end, then when you look at a website from a Google Chrome browser and some other browsers, even Microsoft Edge, it will say unsecure. It's a little bit of a turnoff. Also, Google in Google search is going to show secure websites before they will show unsecure websites. So that's another reason why you got to upgrade. You got to take care of your website. You got to get in there and make sure the platform you're using is appropriate and that it's supporting all the things you need in 2018. If it's not, it's time to move on. All right, have an up-to-date website. Having a website that has been professionally search engine optimized. If I tell you to search engine optimize your website, that doesn't mean I think you should do it personally. It means I think I should do it. Because you won't do it right. So if you're not an SEO expert, and I know there are so many people who tell you they are SEO experts. No, they're not. Until they've been in the business 10 years and work for home care exclusively, they have no idea what they're talking about. I just can tell you that. I've seen it. Oh, so you need to have your website search engine optimized. The title tags, the H1 tags, all of that matters. We have taken so many folks from not showing up at all on the internet to having a website that we manage and maintain and put all the right SEO in the right places, and boom, there they are, first page of Google. It takes some time. It's not overnight, but it works. So please have your website professionally search engine optimized. Having blog posts at least once per week that are search engine optimized. So just putting up a post that says something about incontinence care or not falling on the snow and ice, that's all great. But if it has no SEO value, it's just kind of be there. So you can learn from us. I mean, we teach everybody how to do what we do. We don't, hold anything back. I'm pretty sure you're never going to want to do our job. So we don't have any problem there. But You make sure that your images and your text is search engine optimized as you're writing your blog posts. At least blog posting is half the battle. Getting it right on the back end where people don't see it is the other half of the battle. So good content, search engine optimize it. Having a Facebook business page that is active and engaging. Yes, we want to have a Facebook page that has content running through it, coming to it 5 days a week. If you asked a super duper superpower expert how many times a day you should post to Facebook, they would tell you probably 3. Yeah. I think that's a little overkill. I'd say 1 or 2 is the limit. So every day, Monday through Friday, we post something around the 10 a.m. mark, between 9 a.m. and noon, actually, to our clients' Facebook business pages. That's a hot time because a lot of people are going to be checking their phones around lunch. So you want to have your posts up there. So Facebook is a great place to post every single day. And then on the days when they also get a blog post, they get 2 posts per day. And if they get a video, which we do videos for everybody, and I don't even talk about video in this presentation, but gosh, people love video. And it's not a secret that Facebook loves your videos too. So short, easy, to the point, cute. We just put one up of a little dog doing a cute little dancey thing in our header of our business page. Oh, so cute. So little videos like that, we do those all for our clients, super easy, that kind of thing. So yes, 1 or 2 times a day is probably enough in the home care world. People are looking at Facebook at lunch, and they're looking at Facebook in the evening when they get home after dinner. Most people who work all day are going to be on Facebook at those times. So 1 or 2 times a day. You engaging with people is super important. So having those posts go out is great, but if you never like them as your business or as yourself, in fact, I like to like things as myself, not just as my page name. So you like them, and then if somebody comments or says something like, oh, that's so sweet, or, a video or something, you need to comment back. And then you should invite them to like your page if they haven't already liked it. So there's lots of things you can do to engage that don't take a whole lot of time. If you spent 5 minutes in the evening running through your Facebook business page and just saying thank you to the people that comment, or saying to them, hey, or sending them a note or something, inviting them to like your page, oh my goodness, that is the perfect level of engagement. So yes, you have to actually be physically present and mentally present to make this work. It doesn't have to be a big dissertation or a big event in your life. 5 minutes at the end of the day will take care of it. That's what I recommend. Having a Facebook business page that has 1,000 local fans or more. People ask me, what does that mean and why do you recommend that? All right, so we know that in this day and age on Facebook, number one, just because you slap it up there doesn't mean anybody's ever going to like it. They don't know about it. Facebook doesn't want to show people stuff that isn't fun and popular. The more fans you have on a Facebook business page, people who have given you the thumbs up, the more of those you have, the more engaged they will be with your page. So for instance, we have a page called Alzheimer's Care Daily, and it grew to 11,000 fans. We don't even have to do anything to that page but put content on it now. And people are talking to each other and engaging with each other. Now 11,000 takes a long time to get to. But if you run some simple ads for, like, say, $5 a day, you can increase your likes over time till you get to around 1,000. And that is, all of them should be local. You should never go somewhere and buy likes because they will all come from Malaysia. And those people aren't going to be helpful to you. So you advertise on Facebook and you ask people to like your page. And if they're interested in your subject matter of home care, senior care, elder care issues, they will like your page. And then every time you post something, they're more likely to see it and comment. So the more fans you have, the better. If you have $5 a day to spend on that, by all means, work on getting likes on your page. $100 a month or $150 a month will get you $5 a day for a month. If you wanted to generate leads, using that $150, that's a little short. You're probably not going to get anything for $150 a month. So get likes. You can do that. That is something you can do. All right. Having a Facebook virtual support group that you are actively managing and participating with. This is a lot of work in comparison, but it will generate tons of leads and referrals and conversations. So you have a Facebook business page, but if you actually add a virtual support group to that and you engage and you're on there asking questions and offering advice and encouraging people to join your group in your local area, then you will grow that group and those people will engage with each other. They'll support each other. Let a couple of other professionals in on there so they can kind of, engage too. That's totally okay. So make sure that if you do start a virtual support group, that you are on it every day for at least 15 minutes. If you can't do that, maybe someone in your office would be willing to be the moderator of the group. And as a virtual support group, what you're doing is you're saying, okay, here are some of the things that work with someone with dementia. Or maybe you're sharing an article and saying, what do you think? Or maybe someone introduces themselves and says, hey, I have a dad with dementia. I've been caring for him for blah, 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 blah. And eventually, through the growth of trust and his condition getting a little worse, maybe they come to the situation where your home care agency is really welcome in the house and they want to start services. You never know where your next lead is going to come from or why. So starting that support group and really nurturing it and growing it to a couple thousand people, that is amazing. You should do that. Combining your offline content with your online content. Yay, I've already talked about that. You got to do that. Everything you attend, paragraph and a picture on your website. Whoosh, goes out to all your social media and to your e-newsletter. Monthly e-newsletter, simple and automated. You do not need an award-winning newsletter. You need an automated newsletter that sucks all that wonderful content right out of your blog that you've been posting to the whole month. And when you do that, it goes out to all of your connections. And you know what articles they're going to click on? They're going to click on the ones where you went to the senior fair and the ones where you celebrated Caregiver of the Month or you won an award. They're going to click on those articles. That's your company news. You need to participate. So have a monthly newsletter, make it automated, simple, mobile responsive, because 90% of the people who read that newsletter are going to be on their phone or a mobile device. They are going to be in line at McDonald's, at their kids' basketball practice, or sitting on the pot, looking at their email. They see your newsletter fly through and bammo whammo, they're on your newsletter and they're scrolling through those headlines to see which one do I want to look at here. And they're going to look at the ones that they think are pretty interesting. So most of those come from you. Make sure you have a monthly newsletter and that it's mobile responsive and easy to read. Award-winning doesn't cut it. Simple, scrollable, easy on the eyes. That's it. Ooh, the Mary method. Oh, I see we have some questions. By the way, if you have joined us later in this broadcast, there's a Q&A section down at I can see it at the bottom of my screen. You want to make sure that you're putting your questions in as we go. I will take questions at the end. I will answer them. I'll go through. If you wait until the end, everybody's going to be furiously typing. So go ahead and ask your questions now so that you are in line. So I'm answering them in order of how they came in. So go ahead and type in your questions now if you have any. All right, Mary method. Some people don't understand this, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a description. This is just my way of showing you sort of a circle of trust, how you build it and how you maintain it. So this is the sort of the image that we use, but I will explain it to you. Let me get rid of this little picture here. Okay, here are the required foundations for the Mary method. Mary stands for magnetic, everywhere, being real, and being you. You must be willing to understand and be magnetic. So I explain here I'm going to explain to you what magnetic means in a second. You must be willing and to understand and be everywhere. That means all over the internet. and somebody comes up to you and says, oh my goodness, I see you everywhere. You have achieved being everywhere. That's what you want. You must be willing to understand and be real and be you. The three of these foundations together make up the Mary method. And the Mary method, if you implement it and you believe it and you maintain it, you have what's called the multiplier effect. And that means having a bigger audience plus more revenue plus a better relationship with the consumers in your community. So if you are magnetic, you're everywhere, and you're real and you're you, you will be able to have more revenue and a better relationship with the people in your community. You can ignore that little beep. All right, so being magnetic, this requires that you understand your positioning in your local market, that you have a clearly defined message in your marketing materials and online, especially online, and you have a clearly defined offer. What problem can I solve for you today? Being everywhere. This is more about your online marketing timing and having a plan and a process, not just throwing it out there and seeing what sticks and then ignoring it for 2 months and then doing it again and then saying, this doesn't work for me. No, have a plan and a process. Frequency, relentlessly sharing your message, many messages with your online audience, relentlessly. Platform, choosing a platform on which to be the most visible. So I choose Facebook as my most visible platform, and you should choose Facebook and maybe LinkedIn to be your most visible. The other ones are not going to get you clients. Facebook is your community outreach. LinkedIn is your professional to professional networking. Use them wisely. Being real and being you. This is where things get weird. People don't like to be online, and oh well. Tough took us. Get it. Stop hiding behind your website and your social media. I can't tell you how many About Us pages say nothing. They say nothing. If you are owner of a business, put your mug on the About Us page and tell me your story. I will not trust you until I know why you're in this business. Do it. Make connections with the people on your Facebook business page and in your group. So connect with them, engage with them. We've talked about this. Don't just say, like, hi, thank you. Build a community of people around you who look to you for advice and guidance. Facebook groups. If you can be the mentor for caregivers or the person who's managing a Facebook or the home care agency that's managing a Facebook support group, a caregiver support group, and you are the best one in Sacramento, California, or you're the best one in San Diego, you will always have clients coming from that. Do it. All right. Actually have real conversations with real people online. Answer questions, ask questions, get a sense of what the people in your area need. You know what they need. Be the resource for all things elder care. And when you bring all of these foundations together and commit to them, you find yourself with a bigger audience, more clients, more revenue, and great relationships with the people in your local community. The worry about cost and payment and competition will just fade away because these people love you and you love serving your community. Show them that. This is an online world. Okay, here's our summary of success. You ready? I'm going to fly through this, and then we're talking home care leads beta, baby. Success factor number 1, your main website. This is your professional image. It's a design for lead capture. Is it optimized for your local area? Is it mobile responsive? Does it have an SSL certificate? Does it have a clear call to action? It's problems you can solve for people. Are you adding unique weekly content? Success factor number 2, you must have a keyword plan. I didn't even talk about this. Your keyword plan should be prioritized by your geography, so your local towns that you service, and by keyword phrase, home care, elder care, senior care, caregiver. It should be used to SEO your core website, so that's the static pages of your website, and it should be used to guide your weekly blogging. Success factor number 3, continuous content publishing. Blog posts once a week. It should be 100% unique. You cannot copy the article from the New York Times and expect to get anything out of it. It will give you a minimum. I say 400 to 500 words. That's more for me. If you put a paragraph and a picture up there, optimize for top keyword priorities as well as many other lower volume keywords, and those would be long tail keywords if you've heard about that. Feed your blog post out to social media and to your monthly newsletter, publish a local e-newsletter, and publish articles with your key referral partners. That means if you have an assisted living that refers to you often, or you want them to refer to you often, do a little write-up on them on your blog. It's not going to hurt you. It's going to make better friends. Success factor number 4, engaging through social media. Facebook is your community outreach. LinkedIn is your professional to professional networking. Do it. Feed content from your blog. Boost your important posts. So on Facebook, you can spend $10 and boost that post. And it needs to be one with a call to action, not just any Joe Blow post. Boost it to 25-mile radius of your local area for $10 and you get some branding to lots of people. Invite everyone on your email list to like your page. Have everybody that you know like your Facebook business page. It works. Facebook paid ads to build likes. That's what we do. We run ads to get you a bigger audience. And of course, publish testimonials. Success factor number 5, you must have a monthly newsletter. Yes, you must. And it should be automated, easy to read, and mobile responsive. Don't waste your time on a bunch of crazy stuff and say you're going to do one manually every month, because you're not. And even if you do, every single picture you put in is going to be stripped out by that email system that the other person has. Images are not a great shake. They should be. But unless they request to see the images, it's just going to be text anyway. So just keep it simple. Build the best email list in your territory. The man with the biggest list does win. Size does matter. Prospects, potential referral partners, and clients, and sometimes your caregivers should be on that list. Publish quality info regularly. Have engaging articles, company news, employee celebrations, testimonials, client stories, and co-publish with referral partners. Keep your home care agency top of mind, and it builds engagement with your community. It avoids follow-up failure. Success factor number 6, reputation management. I know that it's hard to get testimonials on Google. I get it. I understand that. But there are other ways you can get testimonials. Have a high volume of positive testimonials. Eliminate negative reviews. I know that's not always possible, but you can in some platforms, like the one we run. Searchable in your key towns. You should put them on third-party sites for more credibility. You should have them distributed to Facebook and in a format that's acceptable by Google. And you should be able to distribute those to your prospects. So if somebody says, well, do you have 3 clients I could call? Well, no, HIPAA law tells me I can't do that. But look, here's 100 testimonials you can read over on our senior service reviews site. All right, everybody, let's take a 1 minute here and let me check in with the people. All right, so I have 5 questions here. All right, let's, okay, I think all of these are pretty easy to answer, so I'm going to hold on that for a second. And let's talk about the Home Care Leads beta. Now, this is a beta test. This doesn't mean that we're going to continue this program. It does not mean that we will continue this program. If we don't test things, we don't know how well it's going to work. This is less than a month in process. Maybe we might be right at 1 month. If you hear children, my apologies to you because they're loud. Let's see here. All right. Normal cost of home care leads. Normally, home care leads are going to cost you $30 to $250 a pop, maybe more. A place for mom, I don't know how much they are now. But I think if you buy leads and they're not exclusive, they're around $20, $30. This is old data in my head, so they could be more than that. Exclusive leads, which I don't know if they're really exclusive, are going to cost you more around $50 a lead. I have a question for you guys. If you're paying attention to me, if you agree that home care leads, if you buy them, cost between these 2 numbers, raise your hand. Just hit the hand button for me. 2 participants raise their hand, 3, 4, 5. So this is a good range. I mean, I know it's a huge range, but generally speaking, okay. All right. Expectations. So let's rethink our expectations about home care leads. So here's usually what people think when they buy home care leads. I will get 30 leads and at least half of them will need services this week or next week. I will get 10 leads and at least 5 of them will need service this week. I'm going to close 5 leads this month out of my 10. No, you're not. No, you're not. You will get 30 leads and none of them will need services this week or next week. In fact, if you aren't a good closer and you don't have excellent follow-up practices, none of those leads will ever close, ever. And I know I'm talking to people who know this happens. You plunk down $2,000 and none of them close, or maybe 1, and you never make your return back. If 5 close in 6 months, that might be a good investment. My kids think I look hysterical. Hi, Maddie. Keep moving. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay, the next thing you need to understand about home care leads, are you a good closer? Some of you suck. And I'm not the person that's going to tell you that, but you know if you suck at closing people. I am a terrible closer. I hate it. I am much better at saying, but being like, well, we can help you if you need it. No. Are you a good closer? If you're a good closer, then you probably have a great ratio of closing home care leads. If you're not a good closer, just know you're not. Just say, I'm not really good at this, but I need leads. Oh, it's okay. It's okay to not be a good closer. It just is. Some people are and some people aren't. So let's understand one more piece of this. Sometimes we're not good closers. We know that home care leads are very expensive in general. Understanding SSF. I did not make this up. This is not my brainchild, but I'm going to explain it to you because it is so applicable to you. It is amazing. Some of your prospects, do you like my little hand drawing there? I know, I'm so good. Some of your prospects are on the sidewalk. When someone fills out a lead form, they may not be even remotely close to hiring a home care agency. They just need to know what is up and see what's out there and what pays for what because they have an aging parent. That doesn't mean the aging parent needs or wants home care. It just means that some kind of conversation happened recently or some kind of observation was made where someone thought, they're on the sidewalk. They are walking. They are not running. They are not driving in a car. They're not riding a bicycle. They are walking on the sidewalk. Hello, Samantha. There are people who then are in the slow lane. Something happened, like maybe mom fell and break her hip, but she was really independent and driving before that, and she's pretty much going back to being independent and driving. She doesn't really need home care, but boy, oh boy, that was a wake-up call for everyone. So they're in the slow lane and they're thinking, wow, we need to really know what's going on. And suddenly people are going and having wills and trusts and deciding who is going to take care of mom in the event and all this stuff. Conversations start happening. They're still in the slow lane. So most of the leads that you get for home care are on the sidewalk or they're in the slow lane. And that is why they do not close. They are not ready to close. That doesn't mean you should ever give up on that lead. You don't give up on a lead until they tell you to quit bugging them or they pass away. So people on the sidewalk and people in the slow lane are inching toward a crisis. Inching toward a crisis. And they are going to need home care someday, chances are. And they may end up straight to a nursing home. The person may end up passing away. They may go to assisted living. But you have an opportunity to embed yourself in their life, at least online and through email and maybe a phone call once in a while, to let them know that when that crisis happens, you are there to pick up the pieces. So you get these leads and you think, oh, I'm going to close 5 of these today or tomorrow or when they call in or whatever. And it doesn't happen. And you get discouraged. You shouldn't. You should know that this is how it works. People on the sidewalk move to the slow lane. It may be 6 months between movements. People in the slow lane move to crisis and to the fast lane. I need somebody upon discharge. She's going home next week. We got to have somebody in the house. She can't live alone anymore. They move to that really quickly. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to take a failing of a family caregiver, or it's going to take a hospitalization to get to that reality. And that's just the truth of the matter. You all know it better than I do. So when you get leads, please know that they are starting on the sidewalk 90% of the time. There will be some that are right now, I need, Normally those people are calling you and saying, I need care today. They have skipped over to the fast lane. That happens all the time. But these leads that are filling out forms, they just want a little extra info. They're on the sidewalk. Keep them on your newsletter list. Keep them. Don't do follow-up failure. Don't fail to follow up with them. They will need home care someday. All right, here's the data. Now that you know how I feel about leads and what you should your mindset about leads should be, here are the participants in our first beta. We asked for 10 people. We got 9 or 10. We're good with that. So right now we have someone in Jackson, New Jersey, Salt Lake City, Utah, Sterling, Virginia, and Manhattan, New York, Stratford, Connecticut, Spokane, Washington, Malibu, California, Grosse Pointe, spelled wrong, I'm sorry, Michigan, and Edison, New Jersey. Those are all spots that are taken right now. Right now we do offer exclusivity. So we don't advertise within a certain radius of these folks as long as they're in the program. We can't take another client there. So this is an exclusive program at the moment. That may change, but right now that's the way we're handling it. So here's some data. Jackson, New Jersey Home Care Agency started November 17th. Their program went live. They have currently 28 leads. They spent $263 on those leads. The cost per lead at this moment is approximately $9 per lead. And this is a combination of Facebook, email, and Google Analytics. Google AdWords. Google AdWords has not proven to be as effective as we would like. Just like I said before, I'm not a Google AdWords fan. And it has proven itself to be not effective in this case as well. Facebook has by far been the most effective lead strategy. Salt Lake City, Utah started November 24th, 17 leads, $121 spent, cost per lead. They're doing Google AdWords only. We are going to transition them over to Facebook shortly. Their cost per lead is around $15, and we've only used email. So in other words, we've emailed their information about our strategy, our marketing strategies, to send an email to their current list of people that receive their newsletter, and then advertise on Google Analytics. That's what we've done for them, and that's where they've ended up. 17 leads. Most of them came from their email, and some came from Google Analytics. In some of these areas, for instance, Salt Lake City, Google AdWords, pay-per-click is extremely expensive. So it doesn't even make sense for us to continue there. Sterling, Virginia, November 24th, 0 leads. They've spent $99, and this is a Google AdWords only client. We have not sent an email out to anyone, and we have not run Facebook. We have discussed this, and we will be transitioning them over to Facebook shortly. Manhattan, New York. Now, this one just went up December 3rd. So think about that. That is 2 days ago. And in 24 hours, because I wrote this yesterday, in 24 hours, they had 7 leads. Facebook only. We have not done an email blast to their email list. They've spent $23, which equates to $3.28 per lead. So you can see we're kind of all over the map, but the most important thing for you to see is that this hasn't been costly. So let's talk about what they're getting. What is a lead in this case? A lead is someone who responds to a free giveaway. I'm not going to give away what we give away. It's very important that we put it together right. You could be a little quieter. And they fill out a form. They fill out a form, and we get their name, their zip code, their phone number, and their email address. So you have all of their contact information and the zip code where they live. And my recommendation is that you follow up within a couple of hours. Of course, these are exclusive to you. We don't share them with anybody else. They're only coming to you. You, as the person who receives the lead, get notified by email instantly that someone has filled out the form. And they're also put on a Google Excel doc, in Google Drive, and that is accessible to you 24 hours a day. So what happens next? The person receives the free item via email. They receive the thing that we're advertising via email. Then they are put into a 10 email drip, an email drip campaign that is a total of 10 emails over the course of 30 days. So follow-up failure does not happen. So not only do you call them, or designate someone to make that phone call to make sure they receive their information, but also they are dripped on over the course of 10 days. All of those emails are, the pros and cons of being a family caregiver, all kind of, I don't know, the subjects go on and on. Why is home care awesome? I don't know. But they get those over 30 days. And of course, every single email has your call to action at the bottom, your phone number, your logo is at the top and the bottom. You have all of that information on there. Also, every single person on that responds is added to your monthly newsletter list. In other words, all these are clients of ours, and they have a newsletter that goes out monthly. We just go ahead and take those people who responded and add them to their monthly newsletter list. The home care agency calls ASAP to make sure the consumer receive their information and to establish a relationship. Will these leads close instantly? I'm going to guess no. However, you are building a relationship with that senior or that family instantly. They're receiving 4, sometimes 3 or 4 items from you that are super important, and they have filled out a form, and sometimes they fill it out twice. They're so interested. So this has worked really well. This is how to grow your agency, but you have to understand that these people may be on the sidewalk. Chances are they are on the sidewalk, and they may be in the slow lane. They're not in the fast lane. They're not in a crisis, probably. If they were, they will probably call you now that they have your information. And on the stuff that they receive via email, all those things that they can download, all of them are branded with your phone number, your logo, your information. So they are receiving information that they can print out or they can just use online, and it has your stuff, your contact information all over it. Can you participate? So you can. We can do that. I am still working with the first 10, so we're not going to take anybody else until January. However, it is December the 5th. And so if there are anybody else out there who wants to participate, you have to get your contracts into us in December for a January start. I am not kidding about that. It takes us a long time to set these up and to do it right. So you need to be able to get your contract in. It's a first come, first serve. If your territory is already taken, we will not allow you into the program. And we have already turned people away from the first session. We had too many people who were wanting a certain area, and we said, no, somebody else is already there. So the day you turn your contract in, that's the place you have in line. So you must be a current client in one of our Facebook programs. So if you're already a current client, this might be an option for you. If you aren't a client currently, but you want to be and do all the things that we just talked about, there is a $695 setup fee, and the lowest program that we offer is $395 a month. That's the lowest. You have to be in our full SEO content Facebook engagement program in order for us to do the Home Care Leads beta with you. It's a lot of work, and we don't do it just for anybody. You must be able to spend, on top of that, a minimum of $300 per month on advertising. On top of everything else, you have to be able to spend $300 a month on Facebook advertising. A minimum. You're welcome to spend more if you'd like, but $300 is the minimum spend, $10 a day. We ask for a 6-month commitment. There are 0 guarantees. We have 0 guarantees that you will get a lead or you will get new business. I think things are looking pretty positive there as far as the leads go, but I will never guarantee leads. All leads do belong to you exclusively. Currently, we have exclusivity on territories, and we have turned people away. And the current clients, so if you're already our client and you're already with us and you're already signed up, there is a one-time fee of $300, and that just covers some basic costs for us to get you set up. It doesn't cover my time, but because you're a client or you've been a client for a long time, we are happy to do that. So that is how you can participate. Let's see here. Oh, if you want to participate, please email me personally. If you're a current client, you can go through support. But if you're not and you don't know how to contact us, just contact me personally at Valerie@LTCEP.com. I will send you some instructions. I want you to watch a video and answer a few questions in your own head before you move forward. Next group can start January 1. First signed contract in the doors, the first in line. Deadline for contracts is December 30th, but we're probably going to cut that off sooner because it'll fill up sooner. Do not inquire if money is an issue. Please be in a stable position with plenty of cash flow. This is not for startups or businesses that are not doing well. This will not save your life. None of our programs will save your life. So if you are in a startup position or you have, you feel like things aren't going very well, this is not what you want to do. You need to have a stable financial commitment for 6 months. And I feel very strongly about that. If you can't do all of it all at one time, then this is not for you. So having said that, though, we'll take 10 more people and we'll start them January 1. Again, no guarantees, but I can say so far that we've had a great turnout as far as leads go, and we work very hard on this program just like we do with all of them. If we can glean something out of these betas, that means that we can offer this to more people going down the road, we absolutely will. But we have to have our beta testers in there. And of course, anybody who is a beta tester will always have, as long as they stay with us, we can give them that territory exclusivity. First in the door gets rights to a lot of stuff. So I hope you can participate with us. If you can, that's awesome. All right, let's do QA. I hope you put your questions in. If not, scurry, and get those questions in. Type your questions in. Jay, will we be able to replay this later? Absolutely. What about the speed of the website affecting SEO, and what can we do to test the speed, and what is too slow for page loads? Should we contact you? Jay, I think you're having your website rebuilt with us, so we will take care of your speed. And yes, speed is a huge issue, and if your speed sucks, then you need to fix it. And yes, you can type in Google site speed test or something like that, and it'll tell you if your site sucks or not. But if you're having your website rebuilt, number one, get it done. And number two, we will make sure that your site is speedy moving forward. If you're on an old platform, if we built your site 5 years ago, 3 years ago, there's not a whole lot we can do until we get you moved over to a more robust and more, just up-to-date everything behind the scenes. Okay? So yes, speed is absolutely an issue. Is the Facebook virtual support group part of the business page? Yes, it's sort of. So if you go to your Facebook business page, it'll tell you can start a group, or I have videos in our mentoring program that'll show you how to start the group. You start the group, you connect your page, and boom, it's a separate entity, but it is all connected. So yes, you should have both. If you have the time. If you don't have time to support a support group, don't start one, because it'll just be a big fail. So stick with your Facebook business page unless you know, or you and someone in your life has time to actually manage it, and be good to those people, because they are in crisis usually. What are the advantages of starting the online support group versus in-person support group? What is required to launch an online support group? Thank you for all you do for all of us newbies. Oh, you're very welcome, Patty. Well, in person, you're not going to get as many people to participate. Online, people don't have to leave their house. That's the bottom line. They would much rather share their story and leave, comments and talk to you virtually. There's that level of anonymity, even though their name is there. It's much more convenient for people who are Facebook users or who are online or who have nothing else to do but take care of, which is hard, but I mean, still, they may have a lot of downtime. So having a Facebook support group or a virtual support group is super awesome. There's no comparison really to an in-person support group. I'm all for it. but you will have many more people be willing to participate in a Facebook support group than you will. And some will just read, some will never comment. They just want to know that they're not alone, and they will read other people's stories, but they're not going to tell you their story. And that's okay. You know, you just have to continue to encourage people and, you know, let them share if they want to share, and let other people help them, you know, respond. In person is awesome. Just smaller groups usually. After the webinar is complete, will you be mailing all participants the slides? Yeah, no, I don't do that. I don't email out slides, but I will send out the replay. I want to join your lead program in Cincinnati. Yay! What are the free things you're offering to give the leads? Kim Lee, you are in that program as soon as you get your website up, and you will find out then. I'm not going to answer that on a webinar. You got to be part of the program to know what we're giving away to your potential clients or to leads. Okay. All right. Let's see if I got any more questions I can take. Oh, website is up today. Yay, Kim Lee. All righty. Let's see if we got anything else here. I think I have a little chatty. Okay. Somebody says, oh, I want St. Louis, St. Charles, and Sacramento. Well, it's a lot of dough, Paul. All right, so that is the webinar for today. Whether you joined us on Facebook Live or you registered for the webinar, I want to thank you very much for attending. Please email me directly at valerie@ltcep.com. Let's see if I put that back up there. Wait. There you go. If you're interested, and remember, you have to be part of our regular programming in order to participate in the Home Care Leads Beta. Serious stuff, lots of time for us, and you know, we're not making any money on the leads. They're all yours, and $300 a month is the minimum you can spend on that. Okay. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. That's our year-end webinar. I hope everybody has a great holiday season and a happy new year, and I hope we can work together either now or in 2019 or for many years to come. Thanks. Bye.